The Treaty of Versailles, the end to World War I. The Treaty of Versailles was the ending of World War I, in which the Germans had to pay a substantial amount of money to the Allies, reduce the land of Germany, and put many other restrictions on Germany. The treaty consisted of 14 points, and after the treaty was put in place, many revisions took place to give more freedom to Germany until Hitler and the Nazi Party came to power. The basis of the Treaty of Versailles was Woodrow Wilson's 14 points. These 14 points were proposed by Wilson at the Paris Peace Conference, where President Wilson, British Prime Minister David Lloyd George, French Premier Jorge Clemenceau, and Italian Premier Vittorio Orlando, also called the Big Four, attended to figure out an end to the war and punishment for Germany because they started the whole war. The restrictions the Treaty of Versailles put on Germany were major. The reason why the restrictions were so major was because the Allies didn't want Germany to threaten any other nations with another war. The treaty forced Germany to accept all of the blame for the war and forced them to pay many reparations to the Allies, along with many other terms and conditions to abide by. The 14 points describes them. These 14 points explain the major things that Woodrow Wilson wanted to happen as far as European countries and peace settlements with the other Central Powers of the time. But the Treaty of Versailles and the League of Nations were both rejected by the Senate at first. The Democrats mainly supported both the Treaty of Versailles and the League of Nations, but the House of Representatives was mainly Republicans, and the same thing with the Senate. On December 4th, 1918, President Woodrow Wilson sailed from New York across the Atlantic Ocean to Paris, France, where the Paris Peace Conference was being held. During the conference, the United States had to compromise with other Allied nation leaders. On November 19, 1919, the United States Senate and House of Representatives rejected the Treaty of Versailles and the League of Nations, and did it again March of 1920. The Germans, however, were not in favor of the treaty and strongly disliked it. The many restrictions that the treaty put on the Germans was very stressful to most German people, and the war reparations weren't anything to help the German citizens. The treaty was completely different from what the Germans thought it would have been. It was much harsher and took a huge toll on the German economy. Also, Germany did not want to accept the war guilt clause, which explains that Germany has to pay reparations and take full responsibility for World War I. This led to very high German nationalism and eventually the Nazi Party. The Treaty of Versailles ended World War I, but also helped start World War II. The Treaty of Versailles still affects us today, however. Without the Treaty of Versailles, World War II would have never happened, therefore making the borders in Europe different. The treaty also kept another major World War outbreak from happening for another 25 to 30 years and helped end a world war. The treaty was a major goal after World War I so that Germany or any other Central Power could not have another outbreak soon and threaten the world again.